Hi, I'm Crystal Newman and welcome to Children in Our Lives. On this program, we speak about issues concerning children. We talk about how we relate with them. We hear different stories about children and their experiences. Today we ask, what is a good teacher? Is it someone strict and no nonsense? Or someone who inspires hope, ignites the imagination, and instills a love of learning in children? Teaching is one of the most complicated jobs today. Perhaps the single most important factor determining the quality of education a child receives is his or her teacher. So what do you think makes a good teacher?
A good teacher is somebody who is very kind to me, who is very calm to me, who can hear my problems and to solve them, who can stand with me in problems and in good things, because it's like a good friend to me.
A good teachers are teachers which do not use corporal punishment, that helps children to learn more.
Okay, a good teacher, this is a teacher who doesn't use corporal punishment to punish to punish a fellow a young student.
Good teacher, someone who has knowledge to teach.
Well, what makes a good teacher? To me, I believe, proper qualifications and the ability, the passion for teaching.
First of all, it's having the attitude to teach. Like, if you have the attitude, the love for teaching, the love for your students, everything will go on as planned.
A good teacher, someone who's a good listener. Most teachers who listen a lot and talk less really do it good.
A good teacher is that teacher who makes sure that every time he comes in class, he takes a roll call to make sure that most of the students have attended. And then he makes sure that the students do what they're told to do.
You really ought to know what you're teaching, and you give children a chance to talk with each other, interact and all that. And there's something they call not being proud. There's the teachers who come to class and he looks at you and he's like, I think I know everything. So people are low, you're down. So the teachers who really know everything.
He tries to always look around and see whether students are in class. He tries to make sure to see that whatever they are given, they do it in time, they keep time.
Yeah, a good teacher is a good teacher. And by your hygiene and your smartness.
You need someone who, yes, first of all, is bright. I think we underestimate how having a brilliant teacher can kind of encourage one to also tap into their own brilliance. I know other women who they speak of being young and in school and having this powerful female teacher who may be said things that no other teacher was saying, dressed in a way that no other teacher was dressing as, was confident in a way that they weren't used to seeing women confident as. And it's usually those kinds of people in our life that impact us. But in order for a teacher to be that, she or he has to have come into their own sense of self and must also be brilliant in a way where they're also thirsty for knowledge. It translates. So I think that a good teacher is one who is thirsty for knowledge, is thirsty for learning as well as sharing, but is also extremely humble in terms of, and personable in terms of wanting to build relationships. And is a bit tough. I think toughness is good. I think being able to push people, push students, seeing the potential and challenging them to reach it is a good thing as well.
Recently, the Children in Our Lives team visited Malaga Secondary School to talk to teachers and students to hear what they think makes a good teacher. This is what they had to say.
First and foremost, we do have the friendly teachers here at school. You find that most of our teachers are friendly and they are like they talk to students like more friends, not like teachers. So students find it very easy and flexible to talk to the teachers about their problems, both the academic ones and the personal problems. So they give them counseling and guidance, and so it makes it a healthy learning environment.
If you don't know, if you, like a whole class, you do not understand anything, it's free to ask. Like if then you ask and then you do not understand totally anything, then he's free to like bring in other main methods to teach you how to do such things. So when he teaches you how to do those things in other methods, then you can pass your exams. If you are told by friendly teachers who you do not fear, talking out anything you want, so you can understand.
For example, like Jesus is taken to have been the best teacher, and he used to use parables. So you find that most of our teachers here, they do use stories, and from the stories, students derive the lessons.
Like teachers, like for us, teachers have to counsel everyone, concerning health. Like a teacher has to counsel you, like our biology teacher has to tell you everything concerning your health.
Obviously, at this school, we do have good teacher relationship. The teachers always are approachable to the students. We also have the suggestion box where the students are given a right to air out their problems in the suggestion box. Then we also have the debating club. In the debating club, students are in position to air out their problems. During debate, you can see the grievances that a student has.
Because however much you are good at teaching, you may be having a failure somewhere. So we give them chances. We have evaluation lists per term or per month, or as it may be wanted by the head teacher or the administrators and managers of the school.
So if like you have been under a certain violence, when you get your paper and then put it in the suggestion box. So when the Raising Voices committee in the school come and then open that suggestion box, and then they have to check in what the students feel, and then so after checking what the students feel, they have to go to the teachers, and then they start like to counsel them, to tell them that a student has to be handled this way and not that way, to enable a friendly environment to enable also the people to learn very well in the environment.
In our quest to hear more about what makes a good teacher, we found ourselves at Chambogo University, where we met eco-artist and teacher Ruganzo Bruno. Ruganzo Bruno is passionate about the value of play in every child's life. Last year, he won a TEDx award for his idea to use waste products to create a movable amusement park for children in Kampala. He shares this story with us and gives us his perspective on guiding and teaching children.
Well, my name is Ruganzo Bruno. I do environment art, and eco art is my project. It's part of my community outreach, whereby I leave the environment where I work from in the university, Chambogo University, to campaign for the environment using art. So Eco Art Uganda is a project that creates playgrounds for children in places where there are none. And most importantly, we use recycled materials, which are junk or waste materials that we give new life. The first thing that is impactful is the playground being existing, but most importantly that the children took part in its building.
See bottom, okay, you draw. Oh, good. Good. So continue like this and make another bottle and make yours as well.
So they are learning a skill. of creating something, of realizing the use of waste material. And now I will also look at their benefit as children. Personally, I wasn't that exposed to that much when I was young. So they are working with experienced people, sharing ideas, and most importantly, not putting down the children ideas in the playground. So you realize that the school, its rate of children dropout reduced, the numbers have increased, and the children spend more time now at school knowing that they have something to keep them busy. So when children are involved in my projects, they come in with their innocence to discover more about their creativity. So building the playgrounds was one way where I invited them and said, look, I am here to work with you guys. What ideas? You are the child. I'm a bit older. You have the best ways of how do you know how to learn, how to play, which games do you get excited about. So they actually gave me ideas. Play is a very, very important tool of life. I mean, imagine if you lived a life where you're just stuck in ideas and thinking and you can't loosen up. So you get so closed inside that you need something to make you move and relax and expand and think creatively. So I believe that for innovation to come up, creativity is very key, because they have to look at what is existing and they also create what they want the future to be like. So I believe it's a very powerful tool to determine what the future is going to look like. My favorite teacher is Kamcha Edward Sajabi, who taught me art. But because he only believed that I could do it, he never gave me any moment to doubt myself. Because I would create an artwork and I bring it to him and say, oh, this is what I've drawn. He says, really? Is it good? And then he goes back and says, why do you think you like it? So it's kind of made me have critical thinking, which is missed out in today's schools. Children are supposed to think that teachers actually have the right answers. They're the ones to determine your marks, your level of passing. A child is not free to think that this is actually supposed to be a better drawing and it's better because of this and that. And I appeal to parents to work with your children, let them see what you're doing, because you find the impact goes on in their lives. They start to think about these issues early. He might be not knowing why we're doing this now, but then when he grows up and he sees these bottles or any other material, he might think of what to use it for. So it's basically how to pass on this knowledge. We don't need schools to learn these things. We need parents, we need community, a community that is able to see a child who is messing or doing something wrong, and they are able to correct them and encourage them when they are doing something that is good. That's the community we want for Uganda and the rest of the parts. For me, I believe there are those fundamentals or the rules that govern what a good teacher is. Trust me, I have only one answer for you. A good teacher is that teacher who is outside the blocks, outside the room, a friend, someone you talk to outside the school business. That, to me, is the best.
Coming up, we go and visit the Uganda School for the Deaf, where I meet teacher Beatrice and some of her students. Join us after the break. I'm with Beatrice Kanyunyuzi, a teacher for the deaf, and she works with nursery children. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, just let me know, what exactly does it entail to be a teacher for the deaf?
So far I have 17 kids in my class. They are all deaf. That is, they are born deaf. Some are born deaf, some were deaf because of diseases like malaria.
In your opinion, what is a good school?
In my opinion, a good school is where you find good teachers, where you find disciplined children, a well-organized administrators, well-behaved teachers, yes, smart and well-behaved.
What else makes up a good teacher?
A good teacher should always respect their kids. That is first. A second one is they should be loving and caring. Always put kids first, because they are to handle kids. When they are here, they have to love them, they have to care for them, they have to listen to them. Their ideas should be viewed first. Yeah. If they can do that, that means the administration obviously is okay. Yes.
How do you instill discipline in these children? Is corporal punishment an option?
It's not important. It's not good at all. These kids are also human beings. And I understand where I grew from. We used to beat cows. But a person, I've ever seen someone beating children. So I grew up in a way that they used to beat us. That one at least I experienced. But I felt it hurt. It would hurt me, it would pain me, because I would be beaten and they beat cows. Then I would feel bad. So I don't also like it, beating others, because I know they feel pain, they don't feel good. Yeah, it's not good.
So how is it possible? I mean, what do you do? Are there different ways that you can have positive discipline when it comes to children?
There are many ways. Like, I discipline my kids in my class, as in if I can isolate her, I know that is one of the discipline I can give. Apart from beating, I don't do that, but I tend to isolate them somewhere, like I have my corner where I put them. And that corner, I don't call it naughty corner, but I call it a disciplining corner, whereby I put them, and somehow they don't feel okay being there alone, and others are seated, for him is standing. Sometimes I tell them to go out when they are not disturbing me. I tell them, go out, because it seems you are not ready to learn.
And in your opinion, what is the biggest challenge facing children with disabilities in Uganda?
The biggest challenge is their parents tend to neglect them. Some are left at home, they are not brought to school. Some they are seen as they are cursed. Some parents tend to think maybe their kids were bewitched. Yeah. So those are all the challenges that face these deaf children. And when they come to school, these parents tend to leave them. Like when they enter boarding section. That's all. Now, at least she's there. They don't come to visit. They neglect them like that.
Do you have any advice for other teachers watching right now?
They should love them from the bottom of their hearts as their own, because if really you went to a labor and gave birth to that child, let me hope you're the mother now and you find someone caning and hitting that kid, I don't think you'd feel good. So first you love, then you transfer that love to that kid, then things will be okay.
A good school simply means where she can learn, interact with other people, and also add on her knowledge. Students and the teachers exchanging ideas in the teaching learning sessions, and if the question is hard, at least they ask where they don't understand, and then they are helped and they are given answers so that the student understand very well. A good teacher is the one whom you can approach when the question is hard, gives you answers, and looks through the corrections you've made. Cooperation, working together in the different subjects, and trying always to help where learning is hard without fear and intimidation of the learners. Being a child and being at school, there are always opportunities and some challenges in growing up. He is interested in having a bright future without hassles and sufferings when he has got good education to support him in future. She's saying that people outside, some people ignore the deaf, but she comes to school to build her life and as well support herself in future.
So what do you think makes a good teacher? Remember that fear is not the same thing as respect. Teachers should be approachable and friendly. Cram work is a no-no. Children should go to school to learn. Learning is a skill they'll need for the rest of their lives. My name is Crystal Newman. Thank you for watching. Join us next time.